I really do think there are people at both Marvel and DC that understand the issue, the problems contained within comic books. And I think some of the releases that you see kind of show this. So I bought some books this weekend. One of them that I've read, and I believe so, this giant size Silver Surfer number one, which I believe is a remake, and I think they have the original story in the book as well. I I didn't read this in the original story. Obviously, growing up, I kind of got into comic books. I would say slightly late. I think some people that get into comic books get in very early, like at around the ages of 5 and 6. I think I told the story before. I got into comic books at around 13. I was entering eighth grade. There was a gentleman down the street from us. I grew up in Brooklyn, born and raised. There was a gentleman down the street that had a comic book collection. I'm not sure to this day, and I cannot even remember the gentleman's name. I'm not sure to this day if he gave me his entire comic book collection, but he gave me about, I want to say, a good 200 comic books. I'd have to go through my old collection and see how many books he gave me. Here's some from my collection. Incredible Hulk. Let me see. Get this on the screen. Incredible Hulk. And back it up a little bit. And this issue of X-Men. Now, some of my older books, try to get it on screen there, are not in pristine condition. I don't necessarily collect comic books to make money reselling these comic books later on, although I try to keep my comic books in good a condition as I possibly can. But again, they're not going to be in pristine condition. But I from what I see at Marvel, at least, they're doing a lot of re-releases, and I've been buying some of these re-releases. Here's a foil cover of Secret Wars #7, and I enjoy some of this nostalgic stuff. I believe I have an original copy of that Secret Wars book. I'd have to go through my collection. Why do I believe they're doing this? I think at at the major comic book publishers realize people just want fun restored to comic books. It doesn't have to be narrative driven. And what I mean by narrative driven is there's a lot of things going on culturally in the time and the era that we live in. People don't necessarily want to see those cultural battles in their entertainment. Not that you're going to be able to avoid that. And I'm not even saying that I necessarily have a problem with any portion of the cultural battle being in entertainment. I think that's inevitably going to happen. But when you have an entertainment medium that is just completely saturated with the cultural battles of the day, you kind of lose that enjoyment. Because whether it's a book, an author writing a book, a painting, a comic book, a movie, really and truly, this is escapism. This is why we love these things. You escape the reality that you live in. When I was growing up, I didn't really enjoy gangster movies, mobster movies, and stuff like that. And the reason was it kind of brought me too close to reality, to what was going on. You know, growing up in the hood, all of the violence and things like that you see. I didn't enjoy that for that reason. This is just me personally. You may have a different approach, but I enjoyed comic books and I enjoyed entertainment in general because it was an escape. Whatever was going on in the world I live, whatever crime, whatever poverty, whatever turmoil, when I entered this space of entertainment, I escaped that. And I think, like I said, to some degree, the powers that be are beginning to understand, yo, people come to these things and people enjoy these things because it is an escape. They get to escape the what's the word I'm looking for? The whatever travesties they face in life, whatever turmoil is going on in life, you escape this and you enter into another world where you don't think about this. But if in your entertainment, you're constantly reminded of the troubles that you are going through in life, it's like, okay, well, this is not really an escape anymore. This is no longer enjoyable. I'm seeing the same things I see in day to day life in my entertainment, and I can no longer really enjoy this thing and escape. And I think there are many books. So I also bought, I've been hearing a lot about G.I. Joe. So I bought this G.I. Joe comic book. Image Comics, I'm telling you what, Image Comics secretly has just been consistent throughout the years. Now, I'm not saying that there's not some of these problems in the other publishers. I'm not saying that these things don't exist at Image as well, but I think the way Image is set up, they're more set up to deal with this and be able to offer different things. You might find books at Image that are great and you love. You might find some that are just not your cup of tea or have too much of the cultural influences of what's going on today. But I've actually found when I'm reading Image Comics, there is a good enough mix that I'm not stuck with one thing. And I probably one of the issues that DC and Marvel have had is that they've been stuck with one thing. But again, that's, you know me, I'm not all doom and gloom. I do believe that these companies are beginning to understand if we're going to make money, we have to make this enjoyable. It can't be filled with cultural battles. That cannot be the only thing that fills our books. Again, as I've said before, whatever your influence is, whatever way you lean, whatever your life is about, if you are a writer or an artist, inevitably those things are going to make their way into your art and into your writing because that's part of who you are. If it happens organically, I understand, I can deal with that. I just think what some of these companies have done over the past couple years is inorganically shove ideas into a book that don't necessarily help to make the book entertaining. And this is why there's a lot of comic books in the independent space that are on the rise. This is why manga has really taken off and taken over. Now, I'm not even saying that these problems don't exist in manga because I'm not a fan of manga, so I don't follow it like that. I cannot speak with any authority when it comes to that. There's a few channels I follow, and when they talk about manga, it's not a huge issue, but some of these people have noticed these same issues starting to creep up in manga as well. This is something that is pervasive, and I just think it is entertainment wide. But I think there is some course correction. I think when things begin to hit the pocketbooks of investors, there's only so long before these investors say, okay, this is a problem and we need to get back to form because we're no longer making money. I'm looking forward to Deadpool. I think this Deadpool movie is going to be good. Now, there's always a possibility that this movie is trash. That I'm not naive that that's a possibility. There's a lot of movies I thought were going to be good and they just weren't. I saw the movie and I'm like, yo, what is this? This is not what I expected. But I expect this Deadpool and Wolverine movie, from everything I've seen, I think this is going to be good. I am excited about this movie. I am excited about going to see this movie. I think this is going to be an enjoyable film that is probably going to fill box office seats, I think, opening weekend. We'll see. I could be wrong. It could turn out that this thing is just completely trash. Who knows? But I think there are many signs pointing to the fact that, yo, these companies get it. They realize we've kind of screwed up and we kind of need to return to form or we won't be around much longer.